Once upon a time in a faraway village, there lived an old man named Obina. Obina was not rich, but he had a beautiful and happy family. He worked very hard as a farmer, even though he didn't have his own farm and instead worked on other people's land. Despite not having much, Obina made sure his wife and children were well taken care of. His wife was beautiful and worked as a trader in the market, selling fresh vegetables and fruits. Each morning, she prepared her goods with a smile and went to the market to help support the family. Obina and his wife had 3 children, 2 sons and a lovely daughter. They all loved each other deeply, and their home was full of joy, even without much money. Every evening, after a long day's work, Obina came home tired but happy. His wife would welcome him with a warm meal, and the children would run to hug him. They would sit together, laugh, and share stories, showing that real wealth is found in the happiness of being together with those you love. Obina had many friends in the village, but they were all wealthier than him. As time went on, these friends began to drift away because Obina was not as rich as they were. They didn't want to be seen with someone who was so poor. Obina felt sad, but he always told himself, "My family is what matters most." One day, there was a big gathering in the village, and Obina decided to go, hoping to enjoy some time with his old friends. When he arrived, he saw his friends laughing, eating, and drinking together. They seemed happy to see him at first and invited him to join them. Obina sat down and shared a meal with his friends, but after they finished eating, one of his friends stood up and said, "Obina, since you are not as rich as us, you should pack the plates." Obina was shocked. He said, "We are all friends, and I'm older than you are. Just because I don't have as much money doesn't mean you can treat me this way. Everyone should pack their own plate." But his friends laughed and said, "If you don't pack the plates, we'll tell the seller that you haven't paid. That will be even more embarrassing for you." Obina had no choice. He packed the plates and left the gathering, feeling very sad and humiliated. Obina continued to work hard every day, even though his friends treated him unfairly. He knew his family needed him, and he was determined to make sure they were always happy and taken care of. Obina worked on many different farms but never had one of his own. He spent long hours in the hot sun, planting and harvesting crops. Sometimes, the people he worked for would not pay him right away. They would say, "Come back tomorrow, Obina." But when he returned, they would still not pay him. His wealthier friends often took advantage of him, asking him to do degrading tasks like washing their clothes or cleaning their houses. One day, when Obina asked a friend for money to buy food for his family, the friend laughed and said, "If you want money, you must clean my house and wash my clothes." Though humiliated, Obina agreed because he needed the money to feed his family. He spent the whole day cleaning and washing, but in the end, his friend gave him only a small amount of money, much less than what he had earned. Obina took it without complaining because his family depended on him. One harvest season, Obina saw an opportunity to earn more money and approached Chief Azuka, the richest man in the village. Obina said, "Chief, I would like to help with the harvest on your farm, and my 2 sons can help too." Chief Azuka agreed, and the next day, Obina and his sons woke up early and went to the farm. They worked tirelessly under the hot sun and through heavy rain, determined to finish the harvest on time. Obina's sons were strong and hardworking, just like their father, and together they made a great team. After many days of hard labor, the harvest was complete. Obina went to Chief Azuka for payment, and the chief gave him only 1/3 of what was promised, asking him to come back the next day for the rest. Obina was surprised but took the money without complaining. That night, he told his wife what had happened. She noticed his worry and said, "Don't worry, Obina. You've worked hard, and everything will be fine. Let's enjoy our meal with the children tonight." The following day, Obina went to Chief Azuka's house to collect the remaining payment. However, the chief surprised him with a strange offer. After inviting Obina to share a meal, Chief Azuka said, "You have worked hard all your life, Obina. There's a way for you to become rich without hard work, just a small ritual, no bloodshed." You are getting older, and soon, physical labor will not be enough to support your family. Obina was tempted but cautious. Chief Azuka handed him a large bundle of money, saying, "This is 10 times what I owe you, a small taste of what could be yours. Think about it." Obina took the money and returned home, his mind filled with conflicting thoughts. When he told his wife about the offer, she warned him, "This sounds too good to be true. We've always lived honestly. Be very careful, Obina." That night, Obina lay awake, thinking deeply. Eventually, he made a decision. He would go to the forest edge and meet the old man for the ritual, hoping it would bring prosperity to his family. But little did he know that the path he was about to take would change his life in ways he could not imagine. While others believed he had been blessed by the gods, T's friends, who had once shunned him because of his poverty, now flocked to his side, eager to bask in the glow of his newfound wealth. They praised him, invited him to their homes, and treated him with the respect they had previously denied him. But T remembered how they had treated him before and was cautious in his interactions with them. At home, T's family was overjoyed with their new lifestyle. His children wore fine clothes and had plenty of food to eat, enjoying things they had only dreamed of. T's wife, however, felt a mix of joy and concern. She loved seeing her family happy but couldn't shake the unease about the mysterious source of their wealth. One evening, as they sat together in their newly furnished living room, T's wife turned to him and said, "T, I am happy that we have all these things now, but I am worried. How did this happen so quickly? Where did all this money come from?" T took her hand and looked into her eyes. "The gods have blessed us, my love. They have seen our struggles and decided to reward us. I made a promise to them, and they have fulfilled it. You don't need to worry." His wife sighed, still feeling a shadow of doubt. "I trust you, T, but please be careful. Sometimes great wealth can bring great trouble." T nodded, understanding her concern. "I promise I will always look out for our family. We have worked hard, and now it is our time to enjoy the blessings." As days turned into weeks, T's wealth continued to grow. He invested in land, bought more livestock, and even started his own farm. The villagers' curiosity only grew, but T kept the secret of his wealth close to his heart, sharing it with no one. Despite the luxurious life they now led, T's wife kept a close watch on her husband. She noticed how he seemed more distant and preoccupied at times, as if a burden weighed heavily on his shoulders. She knew T loved their family dearly, but she couldn't help wondering if the price of their newfound wealth was higher than they realized. For now, the family enjoyed their prosperity, and the village buzzed with stories of T's transformation. Little did they know the true test of T's choices, and the price of his wealth was still to come. T's old friends, who had abandoned him due to his poverty, began to return, eager to be close to him again, drawn by his riches. Every day, they visited T's house, showering him with praise and asking how he had become so wealthy so quickly. One afternoon, as T sat in his grand living room, a group of his old friends came to see him. They brought gifts and spoke with exaggerated enthusiasm. "We are so proud of you," one of them said. "You have achieved so much in such a short time. Please tell us your secret. How did you become so rich?" T smiled politely but felt uneasy. He knew that revealing the true source of his wealth would bring trouble. "I have been blessed by the gods," he replied. "They saw my hard work and decided to reward me." His friends exchanged glances, not entirely convinced. One leaned closer and said, "Come now, T. We are your friends, you can trust us. There must be more to it than just divine blessings." T maintained his calm demeanor. "It is the truth. The gods have been kind to me. I cannot explain it any other way." His friends were persistent. They visited him regularly, trying different ways to coax the secret out of him. They flattered him, brought lavish gifts, and even offered to share their own wealth in exchange for his knowledge. "T, think of how much more we could achieve together," one friend suggested. "If you share your secret, we can all be wealthy and powerful." But T remained firm. He knew that the secret of his wealth was tied to a dark ritual, and he didn't want to drag anyone else into the dangerous pact he had made. "I appreciate your offers, my friends, but I must decline. I cannot share what is not mine to give," T said. As time went on, his friends grew frustrated with his reluctance and began to distance themselves once more. Some whispered behind his back, spreading rumors about the true nature of his wealth. T felt the strain of their suspicion and the weight of the secret he carried. Despite the luxurious life he now led, he often found himself longing for the simple, honest days before the riches came. He missed the genuine companionship he once had, even if it was tainted by poverty. At home, T's wife noticed he looked worried. One evening, as they sat together, she gently asked, "T, what's troubling you? I can see the worry in your eyes." T sighed deeply and replied, "Our friends keep asking how we became wealthy. They don't believe it's just the God's blessing. I can't tell them the truth, but their questions never stop." His wife held his hand. "We must stay strong, T. We have each other, and that's what matters most. Let them talk. As long as we know the truth, we can face anything." T nodded, feeling grateful for her support. He knew the road ahead would not be easy, but he was determined to protect his family and keep their secret safe. One evening, as the sun set, a messenger arrived at T's home with a message. The old man from the forest had summoned T. The message was short, but it filled T with fear. The next morning, T made his way to the forest where the old man lived, his heart pounding with each step. When he reached the old man's hut, he found him waiting, his expression serious. "T," the old man said, "the time has come to fulfill your part of the deal. The gods demand a sacrifice." T's heart sank as the old man continued, "You must sacrifice your only daughter, Obinna, to the gods. If you refuse, you will lose everything, your wealth, your sanity, and your life." I hope you liked the story. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments about what you learned from it, and remember to subscribe to the African Tales by Zoe channel for more amazing stories like this one. Thank you.